Hello everyone, this is egpNoodlez, and welcome to Bloodborne, the Dappervania Chronicles series, Chapter 1, The Hunter City. I'm here today with KP, and today we're going to run through some of the early lore in the game. We're going to run through the Central Yharnam section. We're going to be putting into practice the combat that we've learned in Chapter 0. And also we're going to talk a bit of news in the sort of Castlevania department for an exciting announcement this week. Before we get to that though, let's go for the character creation. So last time I just went through the basic controls and stuff. For a Dappervania character, which will essentially be a skill-based character, the two origins that will be most appealing will either be Professional, which starts at skill 15, or the Lone Survivor. For this playthrough, we're going to go with the Lone Survivor, because even though not as much skill, there's 1 point less invested in Arcane, and I'm going to make this as a quality build. I'm going to be investing the points in the strength anyway, so with the 11 points in strength at the start, I'll actually be able to use some more of the weapons, such as the rifle spear. Again, we'll be using Julius. And yeah, let's get on with this. So, 2D Castlevania news that happened this week. Basically, Koji Igarashi, who is the father of the Metroidvania structure of games. He originally worked on, I believe it was Rondo of Blood, which is one of my favourite classic Vanias, and he also spearheaded the project for Symphony of the Night. He's announced his Kickstarter this week for a game called Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. It's looking pretty cool. The protagonist looks quite like Shinoa from the Order of Excelsior games. Along the staff that he's currently amassed is Michiru Yamane, well renowned for her audio work in Castlevania, and also Inti Creates team. Inti Creates handle the Mega Man Zero and Mega Man ZX series. Really cool at doing 2D games. I'm really excited that he's partnering up with them. Yeah, basically, a week ago there was a website called swordwhip.com that went up. You could vote either for sword or whip, and in the end it didn't matter, but there was the hashtag Igavania. Got everyone really hyped. Now we finally know about it. It's really exciting news coming out. Anyway, let's start running into this. So, for anyone who didn't watch the first video, Chapter 0, last time, if you'd like to know more about the controls and stuff, please review that video. Today we're just going to put some of that into practice. So right now I'm just going to run Julius through, we're going to get our Fritted Cane, and we're going to start this Dappervania playthrough. So, well, from last time, go for a backstab. And there you go. There's a few blood vials here. And we can get out of the Central Yharnam here. Unfortunately, we can't look into the lore for the blood vials or quicksilver bullets yet until we get to the Hunter's Dream. I suppose we can look at a few... Oh. So right now we have a Hunter's Mark, which sacrifices all blood echoes and awaken anew. Dangling upside down rune etched in one's mind, symbol of a hunter. By focusing one's thought to this rune, a hunter loses all blood echoes but awakens afresh, as if it were just a bad dream. So this is basically, if you're stuck in a place that you find it's really hard to get out of, and there's no way to avoid dying, and you don't really care about any blood echoes you currently have, this is the tool for you. It's sort of your get out jail card. Oops, excuse me, iframes. Generally you won't use that too often, but it also brings into perspective the part of the lore. So these runes are etched into our hunter's mind, and there'll be a few other power-ups in the game, hunter runes, that you'll be able to etch into a hunter's mind to get other effects such as increased stamina, increased visceral damage. Oh, Very nice segue here. The Rune workshop tool for this loading screen. This is what you need to be able to etch these Carol runes into your mind to be able to reap their benefits. So very nice segue there by the loading screen. Alright, waking up in the Hunter's Dream now. And let's get started. So, I didn't explain last time, but in Hunter's Dream there's this doll here. This doll is who you use to level up from. So in From Software games, there's generally been a bit of a trial to get to level up. In Demon Souls, you had to proceed through the entire tutorial section and then 1-1. In Dark Souls, you had to defeat the Asylum Demon and go to the Firelink Shrine Bonfire. Dark Souls 2, you could actually just run through, just go straight to the Emerald Herald. In this game, we need one insight, and I'll explain about that later. But let's just pop through some of the lore that we have now. So these blood vials that heal us. Special blood used in administration. Restores health points. Once a patient has had their blood administered, a unique but common treatment in Yharnam, successive infusions recall the first and all the more invigorating for it. No surprise that most Yharnamites are heavy users of blood. So in the start of the game in that cutscene, we actually had the blood transfusion process done to us. And now because of that, we can inject further blood vials and it will give us health for it. Which is... it's kind of ill really, if you think about it. I mean, what do you feel about just stabbing needles into yourself, KP, full of random blood?
Well, it's quite a mighty task, so I guess in this situation, you'd have to.
I guess you might have to. Quicksilver bullets. Special bullets used with hunter firearms. Ordinary bullets have no effect on beasts, and so Quicksilver bullets, fused with the wielder's own blood, must be employed. The strength of Quicksilver bullets depends greatly upon the wielder's blood tinge. So, we need these special silver bullets to be able to shoot, and once we run back into Yharnam, I'll show you another mechanic that involves the blood bullets. So like I say, for today we're just going to run through Central Yharnam, some early parts of the lore to get an understanding of exactly where we are, what our purpose is in the city. So in the cutscene in the start, we've had blood administration blood administration happened to us, simply to cure some sort of illness, but in order to receive blood administration, we signed a contract, and this contract basically makes us a hunter in the city. So you can say that's our purpose right now, it's just to hunt beasts. Alright, so if we run down here, this will be the part that most players will run down to first. The first enemy here. And now... oop. Terrible. I christen my whip. What? There we go. I christened this whip the Lichen Hunter. It's a lot weaker than I remember it being. Oh well. Anyway, so we talked last time about R1 performing attacks. Now, if you attack without being locked on, you can actually control the elevation of your attack, depending on how the camera is aimed. If you lock on, generally the elevation will be handled for you.
Well, to reduce clipping.
Yeah, that sort of thing. You can also use it to direct the whip slashes, which we'll do to this horde down here. So, combo in, and there you go. I can control, to easily control exactly how I'm hitting. You have to be careful on these stairs when you're fighting. I'll show you why as soon as I take care of these guys. Now the thing about Bloodborne and most Souls games is if you clash with your weapon against a piece of environment or object like a wall, it'll actually cancel your attack. So you have to be very careful about how much room you have to swing. Let's see what else around here. Let's open this up. So we have a gate down here we can open up. This is actually a shortcut back into the first area. Ooh. Long opening gate. I guess we just Hey, you like my cane? So one of the more dependable combos with the cane, as you can see there, is using the whip form to open up the attack, then switching to the sword. It's very nice confirm, so you can just go into the sword combo. And over here we're going to collect some Molotov cocktails. Because what would a vampire hunter be without his trusty Molotovs? Well, his trusty fire bombs. Now there's an executioner here that you don't really have to fight, but it's a good chance for me to explain about parrying. Yes, and also about the bullets in the game. Any enemies coming down here? Cool, right. So if you look at my life bar, if you press up on the D-pad, you'll receive 5. You see the +5 underneath the Quicksilver icon? That +5 is blood bullets, and you use blood bullets before your Quicksilver bullets. Now to make blood bullets, you have to use some of your health, so it can be a use for having extra health vials, or if you can time it properly, since using the blood bullets mechanism puts you into regain, you can actually use regain to recover your health. Oops. And to parry, you basically tag an enemy with a projectile just before it hits you. And a little bit of control showing this. But yeah, using that standard evasion that I taught in the first lesson, stay alive. Dancing with this guy, just dancing with him. Come on. Do an easy attack for me to parry so I can show this off. Ooh. Well, if I can't show off the parrying so easily, at least I can show you that you can definitely dance around the big guys with a whip. Nope. Whoa, it's going for grabs. Come on, I could do an easy move. I should have parried the jumping attack, really. Oh, there you go. Then after you hit the parry, walk into him. An R1. Oh. Ah, that darn invincibility time. Oops. Oh, let's play it safe here. Play it safe sometimes. Double parry, there we go. Alright, that's a bit messier than I wanted it to be, but anyway, that teaches us the parry mechanism. But yeah, this executioner is actually a real troll, so there's nothing really down here. But while I'm down here in a bit of a safe heading, let's take a look at that Molotov. Molotov cocktail. Explodes in raging flames when thrown against an object. One of the oldest hunter tools available in the workshop. Since the tragedy has struck old Yarnum, fire has become a staple in beast hunts, and is thought to cleanse impurity. Certain types of beasts have an abnormal fear of flame. So all of this is actually quite important lore. So hunting in the world of Bloodborne has existed for a long time, and this is one of the oldest tools that hunters bring with them. In the old part of Yarnum, it seems that it's been some sort of tragedy afflicting with fire, and we'll see that when we get to it. And as the game implies, there are certain beasts that do have a fear of flame. If you bring a torch out in front of them, they'll shy away from it. It's kind of handy. Was that guy just raising his leg there? So again, let's show off that combo with the... I'm not really getting a stabbing with that. Yeah. Well, the rest of it manages to go nicely. So I mean, you can just swing the whip, but... in this kind of area, you want to be mindful of your environment, and this is why I'm saying that the whip is very useful in its versatility, because by changing its form, you can sort of get around the limitations imposed by your environment. So any of these doors that have red lanterns, you can knock on the doors or windows, speak to NPCs. The NPCs down here don't have much to say really, other than just a bit of flavor text. Hello. There we go, that's how that combo is supposed to go. Now be mindful, because most players are going to be tempted to just look out here to the oh my god effigy. You're going to forget about this guy here with a gun who's just sitting down. So let's just get him out of the picture for now. Now for most players early on, this part will be the most intimidating. You can see a lot of enemies, burning effigy. It's a really cool area because you see up there is actually a bridge that we'll actually go across later on.
It looks like a cleric beast.
It could be a cleric beast. They have effigies of everything. Now here's one of From Software's training tools here. If you see some sort of goodie just lying out in the open, be sure to sort of check all the spaces just in case. You know, it's got guys and things around. And actually around here they have, I think they have 3 of those kind of traps. There's another one. I love it. Okay, and usually I like going along here at the start because it sort of gets most of the enemies out of the way. So you take out this guy and everyone's going to start bundling up the stairs behind you. And now with the whip you can see there's crowd control potential right here. Flogging the masses, just like in Castlevania. Alright. Now, usually for this part, I like to tag this guy to get these 2 to come up. But you gotta watch out, because down there is a guy with a gun, and also across the carriage over there is a guy with a gun. So, okay, let's start this off. So usually I give this guy 1 slash, roll over here. Try to stay next to these rails so the other bullets don't come through. And now you can take care of these 2 guys to your leisure. Is the other guy not come up? Huh. Okay. Anyway, and then after that, I generally like to take care of this guy nice and quick. And then watch out when you come around here, because there's a doggy. Doggy! If the dogs become too much for you to handle, just shoot him. It'll knock him down, give you some time to handle the other enemies. Dogs are very quick in these games. Then after that, oop, caught on the thingamajigger. You can stand here. Yeah, that dodges the bullets. But I'm gonna take out this guy first, just in case. Come on, Slash. Oh god. Okay. That's another tip in these games. Watch out behind you. Got the shield guy coming up. You gotta watch out with the shield guy, because with the whip you'll see that you'll bounce off even with a strong hit. He can block him pretty well. But this guy is definitely worth going for the Caden form. Alright, and our last 2 guys up here. There we go. And that's everyone cleared out in this courtyard. So I still hear something dragging around on the floor. Oh, okay. Where did they come from?
Same.
Don't back away from me. You're gonna get what's coming. You're cursed. Everyone's cursed. We're all beasts now. Alright, also last time I didn't explain. While you're sprinting, if you tap circle, you can do a run. Don't worry about this door. I won't break through. Or will it? But yeah, the jump is useful in some places, but actually I find it really annoying. Because sometimes you'd be trying to run away from a boss's attack, like a really big AoE attack. And you want to roll at the last second, get those invincibility frames, and instead you end up jumping and you're just like, ow. Alright, here's another guy we can demonstrate some parrying on. So these big brick guys, you gotta watch out, because they can just hammer this brick into you all day. The charge is probably the easiest thing to parry, because you can see the arm come up just as it's coming down, and that's the timing you want to hit him with. And anyway, behind this guy we'll find our trusty torch, which we can equip in our left hand. Common torch, formed by wrapping a pine resin drenched cloth around the end of a long stick. Hunters choose torches not only because the hunt leads them to the darkest nooks, but because certain creatures they encounter possess deathly fear of flame. So if you have this out in front of certain enemies, it'll actually ward them off a little bit. Unfortunately, it's not a very powerful weapon, but we can address that later on. Watch out for these crows. They may look kind of crappy, but yeah. They're mean. At this point, there's multiple routes to take. For the purpose of this video, we're going to try and open up Central Yharnam as easy as possible. Most people would go through here, but we're going to go and take a shortcut through here. Some more people to talk to. Watch out for the dogs here. And this one is the one you most want to watch out for, because once he gets out, he's always out. And you see, dogs are very fast. The sword form of the cane's probably recommended over the whip, purely because of the draw time. And the whip, you just give him time to get away, or if the dog is up close, then you're gonna get hit. But let's see if we can demonstrate it with this doggy here. Doggy! Doggy! There you can see we can take advantage of the whip's range to go around corners to attack. Now here is a NPC event. We don't actually have to do it yet, so we can just leave that for now. Down here, we come to our first sort of half man, half wolf guy. These guys are pretty tough actually. You see the combos are quite dangerous. And for these kind of guys, I much prefer to parry them than anything else. Especially at the start of the game when your damage is sort of zilch. That was a bit of a failed parry. Alright. Alright. There you go. Oh god, I almost forgot. Alright, so rewinding back a minute very quickly. Right, the real reason to jump down here, oh my god, I forgot about the other shortcut, the easier one. So if you come through here after you jump down, and if you look over here, you'll see a doorway. Now this door only opens from this side, which is why it's necessary to drop down here to do this shortcut. You can access the shortcut from a couple of different ways. Watch out for this guy with the wheelchair. You might not see him in the dark, you might just go to this. He's got a really powerful rifle. But yeah, with this shortcut open, we can get into this area. Let's light it up a bit. Torch coming in handy here. And we can get our first message as well in our game. When the hunt began, the healing church abandoned us, blocking the great bridge to the cathedral ward as they burned Old Yharnam into the ground on that moonlit night. So we talked about the fire in Old Yharnam before. So it seems, yeah, that in order to, at one point in the hunts, it got really bad in Old Yharnam, and they had to just end up burning that entire section of the city down. And also from this, we can see that on the Great Bridge is actually the access to the cathedral ward is blocked. Now we'll actually see this when we come to the first boss that most players will find, and the first boss is actually semi-optional, depending on what route you take through the game. Bloodshard here, but back to exploration. If you open this gate here, this leads back to the lamp. Handily enough. Oh, and we forgot to talk to Gilbert here.
Oh, you must be a hunter.
I am indeed, sir.
And not one from around here either.
Yep.
And Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam has a special way of treating guests.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good.
Interesting. Cursed town where things...
Everything is cursed.
things could be worse because of it. So let's find out more about Gilbert.
Do you say?
Yes, we're looking for a pale blood.
Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yarnham lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood, or so they say. Yarnamites don't share much with outsiders.
Yarnamites.
Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance.
So most people say that the story gets kind of obtuse in From Software games. They don't feel like it's explained a lot. But generally, if you explore around, talk to the NPCs, from the information we surmise so far, we know what we're doing. We need to get to the Cathedral Ward, and we need to find out more about blood ministration. But to cross the Cathedral Ward, we have to somehow get around the Great Bridge, which has been blocked.
Across the valley to the east of Yarnham, you'll find the Cathedral Ward. Deep within lies that's your bet.
That's all Gilbert has to say to us for now. Alright, let's see, how much time do we have left? Right, let's cut the first part here, folks. We'll come back with part 2, explore the rest of Central Yarnham, but the last thing we're going to do today quickly is run to this bath here. And you can actually trade blood echoes for equipment. So, let's get Julius a nice hunter coat. There we go, it looks a bit more like a hunter. How'd you feel, Julius? Yes!
He looks pretty damn happy.
It's looking dapper. Alright, stay tuned, we'll be back with part 2, continuing the Hunter City. And yeah, until then, egpNoodlez, out.